All right. Good morning. It's just before 7 a.m. my time, and I have been focused on a few other things the last few days, getting back into my hobby this morning of working some custom diecasts for you guys to see what's going on. Went ahead and painted, like I had wanted to, right along the edge of this hood. So I've got that, and I've got a coat of clear sealer on that car, so that is ready to go to the next stage of putting these on. And then I've started working this PPG Blaney car. And this one's a pain in the butt. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's just a pain in the butt. So the decal set comes up short. You can see right along here. It just comes, it doesn't reach all the way to the side. This I have barely against the side. Then the headlights, they go in, but there's almost always like a little crease right here. As I try to get these in place, there's a little bit ripple right there, and there's just a little tiny gap right in this corner. So this piece is one piece. The headlights are, I cut those, excuse me, I cut these out in order to lay them on a little bit neater. So these are two different pieces, and then this hood is one piece. So typically what I've done is I put the hood piece on first, and then I put this on, so this lines up and matches up. There's a little bit of an overhang here onto that piece. But if you can see very closely, right here, there's a little tiny gap and a little tiny gap that appears in these little corners. And I don't know, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way this car, the decal set, just comes up a little short in a number of places. You can see it even comes up a little short right here. Maybe I could have done a little bit of better job moving this up and up against there. But that's why it's important on this car to pre-paint it. And it's not a perfect match of the color that I have, which is this Sharpie, which I really like, actually. It's an aqua turquoise color. I really like the Sharpies. I mean, Tester does a pretty good job. The only issue with this is the tip is round. The Sharpies have a round tip, from what I've seen, and so it's just a little bit different to work with. so that's the front there, and then the roof decal is way short. I mean, just way short. You can see it ends like right here, and it transitions from the blue to the white. And so you pre-paint here. Really, I did all the way around here, but you pre-paint because it doesn't line up with the hood ever so nicely, unfortunately. So it's a 2015 decal set. It's not a perfect fit to the body. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is sometimes with Pato's decals. And so you do the best you can with it. So this is going to go on here, like so. Yeah. So I pre-paint a little bit here because it tends to come up short. And I don't want I'd rather have this blue than the white showing up behind. And then this lines up here. Yeah. So let me cut this, and I'll get this in the water. Every so often, and this is probably really hard to see, but every so often there's these little dots around the rear wheels. I don't know why. I mean, I can show you on this one. Or maybe not just the wheels, but the both rear wells. So I don't know if you can see this. It's very difficult to see. There's a little, looks like a pinkish orange dot right there between the L and the D, a little bit low, little pink dot. There's a little tiny dot right there. And then you got this black dot here, which is much larger. You can see that. And then as well, so you see the dot there. And then right there, and again, this is really hard. Maybe you have to trust me on this. But there's a little tiny pink dot, orange dot, whatever it is, right next to the Y in Goodyear. I got something in my throat. So, I don't know. I don't know why that's there. On this decal set, there's two tiny black dots right there above this line. And I have no desire to retain those dots. So I'll cut this off here. Cut out the extra space. This is typically what I try to do on these rear quarter panels. Is if there's a separation in the decal, I like to cut those off. I think an example I did was the KCMG car, because I want this piece to be able to go along the bottom, and if I cut it off separately from the rest, then it's more likely it'll line up. I'll be able to get it to line up, and then I'll have it, I'll work with it and try to get it to line up with the rest that's here. I also, let's see, put a little cut in here just in case I need to fold that in. If you put a little cut in it, then it's easier to fold in. So sometimes I'll do that. Well, this thing is definitely coming off. And let's see. SKF is coming off. Sometimes when you cut these up, you gotta do a good job of remembering where the heck they go. Oops. I see a little white, so I'll leave that. Now, I really don't want any of this black, right? I don't want any of the black showing up. Well, except for this piece. So, I am going to cut it out. I don't want to cut too much of the blue, but I definitely don't want the white or the black there. So, cut this off. I want to save as much of that blue as I can. Come on. Keep cutting. And I'm just going to lop this off here like that. So then I'll put that in the water. But before I do, let me put a couple slits in here just in case this needs to get folded in. Okay. So get that in the water. Get that in there too. Yeah, it's good to hear President Trump is out of the quote-unquote hospital. I think I personally had the virus back in March, to be honest with you. I'll tell you, I had, and it was weird. I never got sick, but I started seeing these little bruises on my toes. I don't know if you've heard that before, that they talked about like COVID toes. One of the examples of what they said, well, at least the article, a couple articles I read, was that if you were healthy, one of the ways your body moves the virus out, if you have a mild case, is that you'll have like these little bruises on your toes. And actually, I had a bruise on my big toe, it was like the size of a quarter. And I remember seeing it like, what the heck is this? I don't know what I did or what happened that I got this bruise. And it didn't hurt. You know, I would touch it, whatever, it wouldn't hurt. And I read those articles because I'd never seen that before in my body. And I thought, hey, maybe I did have the virus, like a super mild case. And the bruise was there for maybe, I don't know, a week, and then it was gone, and that was it. So, yeah, I think, well, at least I hope, most people are getting a mild case of the virus, and that is, and that way they can recover quickly. So, yeah, glad the president's doing well, and I know that there's other people at the White House, and prominent people that are getting the virus. I saw Cam Newton got the virus. I follow football, and so heard he was doing better. Might even be able to play next week. So, because I guess he's what they call asymptomatic. So that's good. I mean, that's what you want to see. I mean, I think the virus will be around for a while, like most viruses are, and you just hope and pray that it weakens, and people that get it just get a mild case, and then they're back on their feet quickly. So, yeah. Speaking of football, I think I was saying last week in my videos that I was playing my daughter in our fantasy football league. This is her first year playing. And we put a little friendly Chick-fil-A wager on the week. And fortunately, I came out on top. I think it was 98-89, so it was a close game. Went down to the Monday night games where we had players going. So she got me my Chick-fil-A sandwich yesterday. And I was trying not to rub it in too much, but I told her, I said, this is the best Chick-fil-A sandwich I've ever had. She's funny. It was funny. It was a fun moment. So, just trying to have fun. Make life enjoyable. What do they say, Try to laugh every day. Not take things too seriously too often. But okay, so that's in the water. I tell you what, I'm not gonna mess with that right now. Let me finish building this one first, and then I'll get to that one maybe later today. I am working this Trump 2016, Trump-Pence 2016 car, and I need to put another coat of white on that. Like I've said before, I do the white primer. So I got to do that. And then I'm building this 2015 Ryan Blaney Snap-on Darlington scheme. And so I'll do this one in a gloss black. So I've already primed it. Sometimes the primer leaves like a little rough finish on it. It's not smooth. Well, hold on. It's smooth here. Roof is smooth. It's just this side for some reason. Wonder if I hadn't, I don't know, just the way the paint came out. It's kind of a little rough. So I'll just take my thumb, kind of rub over it, see if there's anything sticking up that doesn't need to be. Of course, I did wash my hands. I don't say that every video, but I do it every time I work on my cars, right before I start working on them. So I can't stress how important that is for you guys that are starting to get into making your own cars. You know, make sure your hands are clean, your fingernails are clean, trimmed, and you won't have to mess with fingerprints and other, greasy, oily stuff that gets on the cars, and you wonder where this come from. Or you're working with the plastic clear pieces, and you're pushing them into place and gluing them, and then you see all the fingerprint marks all over them, and you're like, what the heck happened here? Okay, so while that's sitting there, let's go ahead and, I guess we'll go ahead and paint those and see how that turns out. And for the black, turn this up. For the black, I use this high performance enamel, which I really like. It's a fast dry, and yeah, it's good. Oh, I don't have a light on over here yet. And I can stand this away a little bit easier now with my new stand. A little bit thicker this time. Okay. That's a lot thicker than I normally do. Hoping that's not a problem. Okay. All right. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's get this set up a little bit better here. Okay. So we'll start with this big piece here. I have to admit, I really like these PPG paint schemes that Penske has been doing over the years. They have a very colorful one. I think it's a multicolored, kind of a red, yellow, blue, and it transitions back. I don't know, they're just sharp. It's just a sharp scheme. I really, really like it. This one's pretty nice. I mean, it's just the two colors, the blue and the white. But yeah. All right. So what do we got here? So I'm trying to line this up, of course, with the front. You can see it's short. So I'm pulling it this way a little bit. Try to get it as close as I can. Okay, so that's not too bad. And then, of course, I'm kind of using my thumb to get the water out from underneath. And you can see why I pre-painted this black, like I did over here, along this windowsill of sorts, because the blue doesn't stretch up into here, so otherwise you would have white along here, and I don't know, the black looks better. Let the white be in the back here. In the back, on this area back here, that's, let the white dominate there with the black here. So this tucks just a little bit. And it looks like it kind of curves down a little bit too. I don't really want it to. See that? So this is, it seems to go straight back here. But here it's kind of dipping down. The problem is when I go to lift it, it buckles up here. So it's not too bad, I guess. The words, the lettering here, look pretty straight across. But this kind of dips down. Okay, well, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect at all. Yeah, that doesn't line up that great either on that front. It frustrates me when I'm doing a car and I know it's going to be less than ideal, and I really can't do a whole lot about it. So, all right, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to, because I cut this off separately, I can kind of line it up with these lines and have it along the bottom, like so. So this piece tucks in right there. SKF goes right along here. And it's usually why I don't cut up both of these. That way I can see, the SKF is right on that back window. Right like that. If you don't have the car or the decal set and you don't know exactly where it goes, you can look at the decal set or you can look at a picture of the car. And then this piece, well, I can see it's not going to line up that great, but it won't be too bad. Alright guys, I'm going to keep working this, and we'll talk to you in the next video. God bless. Have a great day.